you want to unlock the mysteries of the stars? Then welcome to Midlife Unlimited, the podcast for women and men who want more. I'm your host, Kate Porter, the Midlife Metamorphosis Coach, and I'm delighted to be joined by my episode 101. Oh my goodness, guest, the wonderful Ysanne Lewis, astrologer, art of timing advisor, and author, to give a taste of our full-length audio episode that's available now wherever you get your podcasts. How to use Western astrology to make today your one day. So welcome, Ysanne. It is fabulous to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Kate, and it's lovely to be here with you.
Well,
Wow.
what a month to be catching up as well. I mean,
Mhm.
I think I'm going to rename August Eclipse Month because it has been, well, is about to be, golly gosh. And I loved your post about where you watched the solar eclipse the other day.
Indeed, yes, because I live in Guildford in Surrey, and I was up on the hillside above me, keeps me fit. Tons of people up there. I've never seen the hillside so busy. Anyway, yes, so I went up there and thought I'd put a post on my Facebook timeline, so it's there. Yes, it is eclipse month. It's not unusual, but what is unusual is the fact that it was practically a not lunar, sorry, total solar eclipse. It was total in Spain, for example, it totally blacked over.
And
Here
I
it was,
think wasn't Iceland as well, because we
yeah, that's
start we
right.
started watching it on TV and I
Oh,
saw
did you?
Iceland. Yeah, and then
Mm.
I was expecting it to. I mean, I'm in Buckinghamshire. It was 7:12 p.m.
Hmm.
and I remember vividly 1999 and
Yes.
watching that, and I remember what I was doing because I just got a new job. But I don't the sky going dark. I don't know
Mm.
why, and it didn't. It was atmospheric in terms of
Yes.
it got a bit chillier, but I think I might have just been imagining that maybe. But it's powerful, isn't it?
It is, Kate. Of course, a lot of youngsters, I saw loads of them the other evening watching it, weren't around in 1999.
No,
So for
no,
them,
it
it
was
was.
my son. It was his first
Mhm.
UK one that yeah, no, definitely, because he's
Yeah,
24.
so it was a biggie for them. Uh, yes, no, it wasn't dark. I saw the 99 and totally blacked over. And it was interesting. I was on a hillside then, and the cows sat down in the field and they turned their backs on the sun. They turned their backs. The birds go quiet. You can see why in times gone by, people thought it was quite a bad omen.
Mm.
Auspices, omens, and indeed things do come to endings and big change round about the time of the eclipse, and that can lead into up to 6 months ahead.
And
So,
does that is that goes because obviously we will mention as well. We're
mhm,
coming out on the 27th. This is out
yes,
tomorrow, the 28th. Is a lunar eclipse. I mean,
indeed
how
there is.
unusual is it to have the two in the same month?
No, there isn't. They always run in tandem.
Oh, okay.
Usually twice a year. Quite often in the spring and the autumn, you get the. You see, there's a new moon and there's a full moon every month, but there's not always an eclipse. But there has to be a new moon, i.e., the solar eclipse to occur, and a full moon for the lunar eclipse to occur. In this case, the sun and earth and moon are all lined up, and so we had them back in March. You may want to think
Oh,
about that. But this time the solar eclipse, 12th of August, was in Leo, the sign of kings, the fixed star Regulus. And Leo is very much linked with the heart and courage. And the word heart is core, Corceur, French, meaning the heart and courage. And it's heart courage. So it's a very powerful one. And with a solar eclipse, it does tend to dredge up the past quite a bit. For
mm.
myself, I remember feeling a little low in the morning. It felt really heavy, then it passed. And of course, it depends what we're doing, how busy we are, whether we
Mm.
allow those feelings to have a say. But the word eclipse, Kate, means to leave, to leave. So that sounds a bit ominous, but not really. Many things do need to leave our lives, attitudes, patterns, habits,
Mm.
even sadly relationships,
Yeah.
jobs, and
And
so on.
midlife is such a pivotal
Yeah,
time for
right,
that,
you got
isn't it?
it.
Yeah.
And it's only in hindsight do we see that that wasn't a bad thing.
Mm.
There are a lot of topplings, if you like, of people in high places, particularly as it's in Leo, which is like the pride, here I am, center stage, leading actor. So we may notice coming up, and sometimes earth changes. Quite famous people have passed on an eclipse. Princess Diana did, for example.
Oh my goodness.
But this is a big story, so I'm just giving little
Yeah,
tidbits.
yeah, but often people toppling from power or falling
Yeah.
out of favor as well, maybe.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. And even perhaps coming into claim, don't forget when something darkens, because some people really felt it was all about the moon. Well, the dark part was the moon crossing the face of the sun. So that little crescent we saw, which looks like a crescent moon in
And it's
gold,
like that
the
kind of
sun.
glowing ember as well, isn't it? It's like a diamond that appears.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
So the solar eclipse, it's a particular one. They call it a south node eclipse anyway, and can bring up the past, and it's an opportunity to claim your light again, to claim your inner core, your sun, like the sun in the solar system. It's totally in balance. It doesn't overshine its light or undershine it, otherwise there'd be mayhem. And
Mm.
for us to understand that we can shine our light, but maybe not overpower other people, it's a balance, like a breathing in and breathing out, which I do recommend around about this time period. And it can be very draining, very tiring. People feel tired.
Especially with the heat wave in the
Well,
UK as
yeah,
well. Yeah. So
but
the
to take,
two, no, but seriously, the two together.
I
I've been
know,
speaking to quite a few people this week who have been feeling very, oh, not down, but just
mm,
drained. So that
brain,
could be despite our star signs, because that's what I love about what we were talking about now, the eclipse. These portents and these emotions almost come in whatever our star sign. Is that right?
indeed. Oh, absolutely, Kate. It just happens to be we all have Leo somewhere in our birth chart. It rules an area of our chart. Could be home, could be relationships, could be career, could be the inner world, could be the
So
teacher.
Leo is the current, anyone born at the moment is a
Anyone
Leo.
born? Yes,
Is
indeed.
that right?
Leo starts about the 23rd of July to 23rd of August. Okay.
And then we
Um,
go into Virgo, don't we?
we do indeed on the 23rd
Because
of
my
August.
mum's Virgo and we're coming out on her birthday, the 27th.
Oh,
So,
lovely. So yes, and you're quite right. 2 weeks' time because they go in tandem at the full moon on the 28th of
which is
August.
the day we're coming out now. So, yeah, tomorrow, just to clarify, I'm muddling up dates. To the day this episode comes out on the 27th, of my mum's birthday. Happy birthday, Isabel.
Oh,
And so tomorrow is lunar. Is that correct?
the lunar, yeah, it'll be
28th of
28th of
August.
August, the lunar eclipse. There's always a full moon when the sun and moon are in opposite signs, okay? Because the sun will have entered Virgo, it's going to
So
be
that will be 2 and a bit weeks after the solar eclipse. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
the sun will be in Virgo on the 28th, and the moon will be in Pisces, its opposite sign, which is very much the polarity of healing, of service, of filtering what we don't need. A
So we're
lunar,
currently in as we're coming out, we're currently in Virgo, just to clarify. I got muddled then. It was Leo at the
okay,
time of
so,
the
all
solar
right.
eclipse was Leo. It's me getting overexcited. I find this
Oh,
so
you're lovely.
fascinating.
No, listen, the solar eclipse was on the 12th of August when the
Yeah.
sun and moon were in Leo together. And it's interesting when somebody's born on that day, it's a very significant
Oh.
lifetime of, or if it's on your, and obviously if it's on your birthday, people are born on the 12th of August. It's a significant time for honoring your light, knowing how you want to bring that on stage. Um,
Mm.
and how by, I think it was Nelson Mandela's speech about don't hide, it's our light that frightens us, not our darkness. You remember that one?
Yes,
Um,
and that is so true again of the conversations I've been having recently about how we can often hold ourselves back so much, can't we? Because
oh,
by
yes,
celebrating and putting our brilliance out there in the world,
I
we
know.
can be fearful of what other people are going to be judging us on and that kind of thing. And that can cause us to not put our light out there, can't it?
Absolutely. And who are we not to shine our light? And by doing that, we can encourage others to do the same. There's a big difference between over ego, bombacity, all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
and being in your own power. So this is important. But for all of us, it's a time period of maybe letting our old self, our identity, have a little darkness, a shadow, and then bringing a rebirth of the sun. That's how our ancestors looked at it,
Oh,
the rebirth of the
yes.
sun into play in a new way, because we have to keep reinventing ourselves, reframing ourselves, I believe, from time to time. But
Mm.
coming up, on tomorrow on
Yeah.
the lunar eclipse, there's an opportunity to go more into the future. So those 2 weeks, which we've just about finished, those 2 weeks we can look at and say what's been going on in those 2 weeks. How have
Yes.
we? Because people are going, oh, isn't this wonderful? And they don't realize the importance symbolically um, of these eclipses. And remember, the word means to leave. Yeah,
Yes.
which is not as bad as it sounds. We can look at that in many, many ways.
But I
So,
love what you said about reinvention and imagining and rebirth and restart.
mm,
And it is, I've now got that powerful, powerful image of when the sun then appears again. And it's like, oh
mm.
my goodness, anew. It is like, ah,
Yeah. And remember, your sun sign is often criticized that how can you be one sign? Of course, you're not. They've got the moon sign, which changes every 2 days of the month. Your rising sign based on your time of birth, which is what you look like, how you come over to people. Mercury's in a sign of the zodiac, how you think. Are you analytical, more visual, more practical, and so forth. But the sun sign is your pathway, it's your core essence. You can pull upon when you need those qualities. And the element it's in, earth, fire, air, and water. Leo, this solar eclipse just gone is fire. We're in a fire month. When we entering Virgo recently, on
Virgo.
the 23rd of August, it's an earth sign. It's more practical. So we look at those areas and we honor our pathway, why we've chosen. And that note, I don't think I mentioned it before, but people often say, how can there be 12 signs of the zodiac? Just 12.
Mm.
Well, there's about 88 constellations, but these are the 12 that straddle the ecliptic, the sun's apparent path through the signs.
So
And
when you see the circular diagram of it split into the 12, is that
Mhm.
showing the path?
It's showing that the sun actually throughout the year, it's an illusion from the earth, but the sun is passing through those signs. And how I see its importance as 12 is that they link in with the nature seasons. So in the old days, Aries, March the 21st was New Year, up to a few centuries ago. Beginning of spring makes sense in
Yes.
a way.
Yeah.
And so the first three signs of spring are Aries, Taurus, Gemini.
Gemini.
Yeah, that's you. Uh, and summer is Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Autumn is Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and winter is Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So I think that because our bodies are from nature, I mean, I believe in a soul, which is from
Mm.
elsewhere, but our bodies are from nature, we actually resonate with those 12 archetypes, those 12 signs in
Mm.
the seasons. That's why they're so important.
Mm.
And I do think they're important, even though sun sign astrology sometimes gets criticized.
Mm. I say we do delve a lot into how astrology came into your world in our
Mm,
full length episode. And
sure.
thank you for sharing your story there. But the lunar eclipse tomorrow, I wanted to check the time with you if you've
Yes,
got it to hand, because
yes,
I
I
know
have.
obviously there was a big hoo-ha about everyone going to see the solar eclipse,
Mhm.
but the lunar eclipse, I think it's at not too stupid a clock, isn't it? So you could actually,
Yeah, it's 5:12,
for
five
us
twelve
members of the
a.m.
5 a.m.
a.m.
club, I'll probably
Yeah.
forget.
Well, you know what? The sun is rising at the moment about 4:45, so
Yeah.
it'll be close enough, but it'll be dark enough maybe to see something. And it's at 5 degrees. The moon is 5 degrees of Pisces. So anybody at the early degrees of Virgo or Pisces born so when does Pisces start? Round about February the 19th for the next those few days leading on. And also Virgo, the days leading on from September 22nd, 23rd. Those few days can be, I say affected, but highlighted much more
Mm.
strongly, or wherever they are in our own birth charts. And of
Yeah.
course, that's something personal, which obviously one can't do in a session
Well, I'll
like
say
that.
birth charts again. That's something that a lot of people watching now are going to be going, well, this is all very well, but I want to find out more about what this
Yes.
means specifically to me in my birth chart. Now, we do talk a bit about birth charts, well, quite a lot actually, including mine, yeah, and some amazing, I do love a gobsmacking revelation in our full length audio episode. But before, obviously, we'll be sharing your contact details in a little while as well. And they're also on the show notes for our audio episode. And you have your guest profile on the website. But
Thank you.
talk us through. birth charts, what
Yes.
you need when someone comes to you. Because I know
Mm.
there's a lot of it kind of perhaps misinformation out there. And I know horoscope, it actually is time is so important. And that's why I love the fact that you're called a modern navigator by the people you work with, because we do look to the stars. You're kind of steering and over to you. Horoscope is from.
Lovely, isn't it? Comes from the word for hour and scope view, or if you want telescope, view of the hour. And people, your listeners will probably think, watchers will think, well, what's that to do with the hour? I know my month of birth, although some people don't know exactly when the sun changes sign. It can vary
Mm,
slightly from year to year within a 24-hour period. Um, but the hour is when the sun is rising up over the horizon. And for example, dawn is when the sun's rising. And if you're born at dawn, your sun sign, say Gemini, it would be the same as what we call the rising sign for a couple of hours. Now, most people aren't. Okay, I'm a Scorpio, water sign. I've got Aquarius rising, which is very different. They're very different kind of personalities.
mm.
So my job is really to pull them together like most people do. So the horoscope means view of the hour. Birth charts are based on, and this is what I ask a client, the full date of birth, which includes the year, the time and the clock when you're born. I do the calculations from then, whether you're born abroad or summertime or whatever, and the place of birth, town of
Mm.
birth, which is actually the longitude and latitude. So it's like a
Why is
coordinate.
that important then? Is
Well,
that
because you've got the position of where the
oh
planets
okay.
are.
So
Yeah.
whereabouts the
Mm.
constellation, what right, okay.
And also would definitely link in with the time of birth. You would need to have that longitude, latitude, and so forth. So that's a birth chart. Then I have a map which is
And
created
it's so
from.
mathematical as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
In our
I
full
know.
episode, you talk through the actual in-depth calculations that you when you first started out. You literally.
Well, yeah, because I started in 1979 when there weren't programs for this, for computers at all, or not like we have now. And I did all the mathematics, logarithms, and I was really a dunce at school with maths, badly taught, I would say.
Hmm.
So I wanted to do it where there's a will, there's a way, and got on and did it. Now I've got a program, but the interpretation is my own. I do rely a little bit on intuition as I pull all these different ingredients, all those factors in a birth chart where all the planets are, their angles to one another, the elements, many, many things. So there's a cohesive picture, and nothing is cast in stone. This
That's
is
what I
what
was
we're
going to
born
say
with.
because I said it to Denise O'Dwyer when we did our episode on Chinese
Mm,
astrology. And I said it to you again. I'm fascinated by astrology, by the stars, about the impact.
hmm
But I believe very much in free will. I don't
Yeah.
believe in fate in terms of everything is pre-planned for us. But you said that's a misunderstanding on my
Oh,
behalf
yes.
anyway.
Well, it
I was
is.
going to say, if you have two people born at the same time,
Mhm.
even though they're the same chart in theory, it doesn't mean they're going to be identical in terms of path of life, does it?
Absolutely not. There's the soul of the person, free will, which we do tend to neglect, not
Mm,
just abuse. Perhaps we neglect it more than abuse it. And our genetics, um, so nature or nurture.
yeah.
So going back to the quality of Leo we started with, I see many people with Leo rising or Leo sun who really hide their light. And other people in their world is living it out for them. Because
Mm,
that's what we do. Nature abhors a vacuum, so we'll draw to us people who will live out the qualities that we suppress, like actors who got stage fright. So somebody else has to go on and play that role. So this is aware work with the birth charts to quite an extent. We're looking at the soul pathway. We're looking at to some degree the background, the ancestry. I personally believe in reincarnation. If there's a soul, hey,
mm.
why we just stay here sometimes for 3 years? It doesn't make any sense. And I think we've been maybe round the block before, and we bring those experiences into the present. That's why sometimes we get deja vu or meet
Mm.
people,
Gosh,
go
I
to
do get
houses,
that.
and also
Sometimes
go
I
to
think, is it?
countries where we feel at home. We feel, gosh, I've been here before.
Yes.
But no, it's generally a whole picture, and it depends why the person is coming. Is it a crisis? Are they just excited and curious to know more
Mm.
about themselves? And you might say, well, don't we know ourselves at 74 years of age or 50 or 90? Well, we get stuck. And I think the
Yeah.
birth chart can bring things which have been kind of sublimated. I look
And
at
again,
religion.
midlife, that is such an amazing time for
I
this
know,
because we
exactly.
are so often, we feel we've been stagnated or stagnating, playing ourselves small. But I say all your details, I'll be sharing them in a little while. But another thing
Mm.
we talk about briefly, and I'd like to delve into a bit more because it was fascinating and I didn't cut you off, but our episode, it was a lovely long conversation. And
Yeah,
I thought, no,
lovely
I'll
one.
save a little bit. I always like to save a
Oh,
bit, always leave wanting more. Um, and the fact that it's not just people that you're doing the charts for, it's events as well, like
Mm,
weddings
mm.
and that kind of thing. And I found that absolutely
Yeah,
fascinating.
absolutely. Everything has a birth chart. Okay, an animal does. Um, an event does. A country, a bit complicated with countries because there's several dates one can use. But the word incorporated means into the body,
Of
corporeal.
course, corpus,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So it's quite
I
funny.
should have paid more attention. I did Latin O level many, many moons
Ah,
ago,
did
but
you?
I wasn't very good. But I find it fascinating.
It's interesting. When I wanted to look at the birth chart of Guildford, I thought, is there one? When it was kind of
Roman, wasn't
whatever
it?
legal, So I talked to the curator of the museum here, and I tried to keep off the subject of astrology a little, just because it would get complicated. And I said, "Is there a date?" Oh, he said, "You mean incorporated? That means into the body. So if you're talking about astrology, that would be a date which would be very important for the founding of the city or town.
Mm.
So this
Well,
is
yeah,
actually,
the foundation stone and
yeah,
things like that
exactly.
they used to. Yeah.
So you can look at certain towns, like Bath in England is a Leo town, London is a Gemini one, New York's Gemini.
Oh,
Guildford is a Cancerian. You can't always find them out, but
is that why I like London and New York so much, do you think?
there you go. Good Gemini, absolutely. There's a lot of
Who
energy.
knew? Who
Yeah,
knew?
who knew? You see, and then yes, I people ask me for a good date for an event, a webinar, rebranding, going self-employed, whatever. And if it's for a particular time, I would look at again like a birth chart, the rising sign, the time of it would be what the face of it is. And do you want it to more, for example, a practical workshop? Do you want a quieter one? Do you want a really buzzy Gemini type one? So I would look for signature time of date and time where those ingredients fit. Okay.
Mm.
Obviously, if the workshop or event doesn't happen, that's neither here nor there. They're just asking me for that. And I would look at the moon cycles in particular in
Oh,
the
why would that be then?
well, full moons are very good for bringing things into the public eye. Um,
Oh.
so for
So if you
events,
are looking to launch, like with the book Midlife Unlimited, it is coming and you're going to be in it. So
thank
you're
you.
going to help me and I'll get Denise as well. We're going to help find a good date and
Mm.
around a full moon then.
Well, it can be, but also when the moon isn't void of course. Now, don't be flummoxed by that. What that means is the moon is a later degree of a sign, and there are no planets which are later degrees than that. So it's hanging free until it moves into the next sign of the zodiac.
Oh.
We've had a lot of that lately. It can last up to 24 hours or it can be 2 minutes. Now, what this means is it's an empty energy that sometimes that phone call doesn't happen, something is cancelled. It's, it's not the best time for initiating. It's much better for reflecting, doing routine work,
Yeah.
tidying, whatever. So void of course is something perhaps to avoid. New moons are good for seeding of things, the intent. Okay, we had a new
Mm.
moon on the 12th of
Yeah.
August when the solar eclipse occurred, and a week later after the new moon, and a week before the full moon, but a week later after the new moon, anyone can check out when a new moon or full moon is. A week later, very good for manifesting the seed which has been sown at the new moon.
And then to feed it and say
Yeah,
this is
absolutely. So yeah, I do that, and of course I do babies charts. Well, that's obviously a person, many many babies charts, and as a toolbox for the parents and grandparents. Toolbox,
oh.
really to help them with as they grow. Nothing's cast in stone.
But
Nothing's
as a kind of
cast in stone.
a map for them to
Yeah, but
use
not necessarily every day or year, but the general theme, the soul path, the link with the parents, the grandparents,
But
how
as you say, it kind of ties in with you being called a modern day navigator as well, isn't
navigator,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And understanding where those wounds are, how they can be helped. The sort of education. Are they just because they're a bit slow at the beginning? Does that mean they're slow? No, they're not. It's just how they start to learn, and they can be
Mm.
whiz kids later on. So
No,
there's so
I
many
love that.
things. And also people look about relocating to another town, but
Yeah,
specifically another country,
yeah, I was
and
going to
what would
say.
fit with their own birth chart. So
Oh,
that's really a really interesting
really
thing to look at,
powerful
whether it's
stuff.
for holidays, for work, for moving because of a relationship or whatever.
I'm so excited. Well, tomorrow then, 28th of August at 5, what was it? 5:19? I can't remember now. My
Um,
brain, my brain.
5:12. Don't worry.
5:12, not 5:9. You'll have missed it if it's 5. Does it last, is it like a minute or two? It lasts
No.
like this.
Well, it's a bit like because the Earth crosses, the face of the moon. So
Similar idea, yeah.
but it's not the moon crossing the sun, it's the other way around, linked with the Earth's shadow. Uh the solar eclipse, it started earlier about I think it started about 6 and goes on till afterwards. You start to see it. It takes a little while, but the exact time culmination, if you like, would be 5:12 a.m.
Love, and it would be fabulous. Obviously, I'll be saying, get in touch, like, share, pop your comments below. How are you feeling about the eclipse? And once you've experienced the lunar eclipse as well, tomorrow, the day after this comes out, pop your comments, pop your comments. But I say, all Ysanne's contact details are in the show notes for our episode that's available wherever you get your podcasts. And she has her guest profile on the Midlife Unlimited podcast website, link to which is here below. But can you please talk listeners and sorry, viewers, hello,
I know.
through yeah, hello,
Don't worry,
how
we're
they can get
human.
in touch with you.
Sure. I just wanted to quickly add that
Oh yes,
tomorrow,
please do.
the 28th, look back at the 2 weeks that have just gone since the solar eclipse and see what has changed in your life.
Yes.
Um, and everything changes, everything is cycles. We're not meant to stand still. And being creatures of habit, it causes a lot of illnesses, patterns repeating and repeating. And that's when we think it's fate. And all we're doing is getting stuck because it's familiar in our old
Mm.
identities. So the
But that's
beauty
a
of it
really
might
good
be,
time if viewers do like take a
mm,
pause. We'd love to hear what how it's making you feel, but to
mm,
reach out to you and then have a
yeah.
conversation and say, yeah, so how can they get in touch with you?
Exactly, 'cause I'm all for helping people move forward.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so as you know, my name is Ysanne Lewis. Uh, my website is Ysanne, my name, YSANNE.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram. What else is there going?
well, I say all of the links and
Facebook.
they're easy, clickable through links as well. They're all in the show notes and all the ways you can connect with me are there. Put my teeth in. See, I'm just too excited. I'm too excited. They're all there as
What's going on
well.
with your chart today? Moon's in Virgo.
So yeah, please, it'd be lovely. Do the usual, like, subscribe, share, comment, ideally positive, well, not necessarily positive, constructive comment. And I say we'd love your feedback on today's conversation and on the full-length audio episode as well. Also on the website, you'll find details of how you can find out more about working with me one-to-one or come and join more, MORE, exclamation mark, my award-winning, multi-award winning even, all-in-one coaching program for fabulous females who want to start adding more life to your years. And who doesn't want a bit of that? Who doesn't want a bit of that? It's been fabulous. Lovely to catch up.
Well,
Lovely to
thank
see
you.
you. Thank you so much for taking the time to rejoin me. I say
Completely.
go and listen to our full-length audio episode available Spotify, Apple, Good Pods via the website. Um, Here's to being fabulous and flourishing together and living Midlife Unlimited. Thank you for joining me. Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.